Hi guys, so today I want to talk about writing practice and some curriculum and resources that we have used over the years to help my children become better writers. I have an 8th grader, a 6th grader, and a 4th grader who are doing school, and we've been homeschooling for 8 years, and we've used multiple resources over the years. So I want to share a couple of my top favorite ones with you guys today. One that we really love, my children really love using it, and all of them have used it to varying degrees over the last several years, is Zookeeper, which is an online language arts curriculum. They not only have spelling and reading and vocabulary, they also have writing. They have writing prompts, they have creative writing, they have how-to writing. There's so many different aspects of writing to help with my children's writing practice. I've shared before how my oldest daughter, a couple years ago, she was writing an entire book, and each entry was a chapter that she did in Zookeeper. They were able to get feedback from the staff at Zookeeper who will say, look at this spelling word, or maybe add a comma to here, you forgot this period, or whatever the case may be. I have said many times how reluctant all of my children were to start writing, but when they found that they could have fun and play a game through Zookeeper, it really helped let their guard down, so to speak, and let them open their eyes and see, oh, wait a second, writing does not have to be this terrible, awful thing. They were able to see that it can actually be really, really fun. And some of their stuff that they have written over the years has been so good. I'm like, where is this coming from? Their imaginations are just amazing. So if you want to check out Zookeeper, again, this is an amazing resource for all things language arts, not just writing. Like I said, reading and spelling, there's games, there's prompts, there's lessons. You could make it its own curriculum, but we like to supplement it with ours and have for several years. If you're interested, you can get a 7-day free trial just to check it out, see if it's a good fit for your children or your child. I have the link down in the description and you can check that out. BJU Press, I have mentioned them many times over the last several years. Their elementary writing program is amazing. Up to 6th grade is what they still consider elementary school. Now, I will say I've used their 7th grade writing last year with my daughter, and it was okay. It wasn't as great as the ones that we had used in the prior years. It was still good, but the writing in the elementary is just for the parent who is like, I need something to show me exactly what I'm teaching, the child who needs to see an example, and the parent as well. What is a student's paper going to look like, and kind of step by step through it. Breaks it down lesson by lesson, step by step, so that you can do a really well done paper. So they have different chapters dedicated to, one may be a poem, or one might be a compare and contrast. They always have a research paper that they do. One year my girls did a tall tale. Maybe it is writing a newspaper article or a persuasive essay. So they're definitely getting different types of writing skills and writing experiences. Some of it's creative writing, some of it's more fiction, some is nonfiction. So there's a variety of different papers that they will be writing throughout the year. And what I really love most about it is sometimes it can be very subjective what you are requiring for your students. Is this enough? Am I being too harsh? And this one really shows you a really good example. It gives a checklist to edit the paper and proofread the paper. It gives the students an opportunity to share their paper aloud to an audience, their family or friends or whatever it may be. And so I just love BJU Press. Again, it is my favorite that we have done so far. Next is a new one for us, but it's been around for years. And when I was doing research this past year for my middle schoolers, I feel like almost every video had this curriculum in it, and I'm sure it's for very good reason. So we're just starting using it this year, but so far so good. So that would be IEW. Now again, IEW has been around for years. Many homeschoolers swear by it, and so my daughter, who is in 6th grade, is going to be using it this year, and she is going to be doing the program through her co-op. So I'm not teaching it, but I am going to be helping her and guiding her through as she does her lessons. From my understanding, what makes IEW so great is because it's going to take a paragraph, a text paragraph, and the child is going to read the paragraph. They are going to go line by line, sentence by sentence, and take 3 keywords and make a keyword outline, so that the outline has however many sentences are in the paragraph, and then from there they're going to rephrase it and put it into their own words. And along the way they have things like ly adverbs and different dress ups is what they call them. It's like their own little language of what they do to make sure that you're including that. And of course they have a checklist and things like that so that you are remembering it. They have a who which clause, and make sure you add a vocabulary word into the paragraph and things like that. So there is no creative writing in it necessarily, but it is showing how to take a paragraph or, a text and how to make it your own and without plagiarizing, and how to summarize. But it's also teaching thorough writing. Many moms that I've spoken to and heard over the years are saying how good and effective it is and how well their child has done with writing after using IEW. So we're just starting the year with it, but so far so good. We're enjoying it, and I can see where it's going, and I can see how it's going to make a strong writer. And once you get the basics and the foundation of IEW, I feel like from there you might be able to go on to, or you definitely will be able to go on to different types of writing curriculum and writing programs. So that way you're just getting a little bit of a variety. Who it's going to be good for is if your child is maybe a little bit of a reluctant writer and has trouble thinking of things to write about, and they just are like, okay, help me know what to write. I feel like taking the text paragraph and then kind of putting it into their own words, it kind of is going to take a little bit of pressure off to come up with their own information and their own sentences and create an entire story out of their imagination, or out of maybe just like a topic sentence. Who it may not be the best for, and I'm not saying it won't work for them, but I'm just saying they might struggle a little bit as far as creativity goes, are for those super creative writers, those kids who are just like writing stories and just always, they just love to write creatively, and they don't want to be boxed in by having to write and reword a paragraph or a specific text. They want to write their own thing, and that might be a little bit stifling for some students. But again, I think it still is offering that really good solid foundation of how to write a true good paragraph. And eventually, you will be writing a 3-paragraph, 5-paragraph essay and things like that. Another curriculum that we enjoyed for writing, and I actually think does a pretty good job, although sometimes I have mixed feelings about the writing itself, but realistically looking back, I think it does a really good job for several reasons, and that is The Good and the Beautiful. Now, I have used The Good and the Beautiful with my children for preschool and kindergarten and level 1 and 2. My daughter used level 3 last year, and then my other daughter has used level 4 and level 5. So that's when you're starting to really get into more writing a paragraph and rephrasing and things like that. And in level 5, you're definitely writing a couple paragraph page paper. And so what I really enjoyed about that, and my daughter has pointed out several times, she's in 8th grade now, is that she has said The Good and the Beautiful really prepared me to take a paragraph and reword it into my own words. There's a heavy emphasis on paraphrasing and rephrasing and adding eloquent, beautiful adjectives, and just kind of making it more of a fluffy, is for lack of better words, piece, and making a sentence more beautiful. So they a lot of times will say, take this sentence, the red car drove fast, and make it your own. Add adjectives, add descriptive verbs, things like that. She also really appreciated how they would have a paragraph and you would have to read the paragraph and rephrase it, kind of like IEW. You would rephrase it into your own words and not plagiarize. So it's not just saying something like, as I looked over the mountain, I saw a beautiful sunset, and making it like, oh, as I gazed over the mountain, I saw a stupendous sunset. We're not just taking one word, we are completely switching around the sentence structure. And they would say, if this sounds too similar, do it again, until you come up with a paragraph that is very similar, but is not having the same structure as in wording as the original source text.
So that's going to be more for level 3 and 4, but by the time they're getting to level 5, they are incorporating that, but they're also adding in compare and contrast essays, persuasive essays, and stories, articles, and they're getting more of that writing, varied writing experience. So in that aspect, it is similar to BJU Press in that it's a variety of different types of writing, and they have creative writing and nonfiction writing, and so they're getting more of that writing exposure.
So those are our top writing practice resources. I have a couple new ones this year. My middle schooler is doing something called Jump In, and my fourth grader is doing BJU Press writing. So I'll speak on those a little bit more. The only reason I spoke into IEW is because we have gotten to do a little bit of more experience with it, and I know just more about the curriculum than I do about the other ones, so I don't want to speak on those just yet. And I will say I have used a couple others. I don't want to say what and bash a curriculum, but there has been a couple that we've used that have just not been great at all. Not every writing curriculum is the same, and what worked for some people might not work for others, but I feel like these were all strong writing curriculum that really helped us and my kids, and they may not work for everybody, and that's fine, but just wanted to share some that have been helpful for us. If you want to check out Night Zookeeper, make sure you check out the description, and I'll pin a link in the comments. You can again get a 7-day free trial. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.